what is effective computing and how does it help in building the right kind of AGI or general intelligence or just artificial intelligence with the inclusion of cognitive science, psychology, and philosophy in it?
Yeah, I think effective computing is a relative new area since the advent of AI. I think it's becoming more important. It's an area where AI starts to understand like human emotion and human kind of expression and the affects of a person. So I think that's what effective computing is. And I think the way that it helps us build the right kind of AI or AGI or anything is that it, ultimately I think these machines, they don't have emotion, right? And they need to work with humans like us who have emotion. And when it doesn't have that emotion, when you try to kind of work with someone who have emotion, I think sometimes there could be a misunderstanding in communication or how it interprets our responses. So whether we like something or we don't like something, like it needs to understand that. I mean, so I think without that, I think we'll be talking to a cold kind of machine who doesn't, feel anything. Yeah. So I think it helps us build the right kind of AI because it's the AI that we want to use. It's the AI that we want to engage and interact with, rather than just like a digital assistant. I think a perfect example is a digital assistant today. I mean, I think it's helpful. It's helped me do a lot of things and save me time and give me convenience, but it's not something that I want to talk with, right? It's not a friend. It's not a person that I like to discuss or share something with. Like if I had an exciting day or something, so it's just a helper. So I think, So I think when it has that level of intelligence, I think it's better to have this, emotional aspect of it built in, right? So it understands what I want, what I mean. And I think ultimately it's going to make the interaction with human and AI or machine a lot better.
And I think it is so difficult to actually do that because, first of all, we haven't understood our brains yet ourselves. How can we then put those emotions into an artificial machine wherein you have to, I mean, what is a machine? It's just zero and ones. It's just algorithms. So how would you sort of translate an emotion, a consciousness of a human into a machine? I think that is something that humans might have to decode and might take a long time.
Well, I mean, I don't think I agree with that, but I think that what is a human? I mean, it's not more than like firing and not firing of a neuron in the brain, right? So it's a collection of so many of I think it's a level of abstraction. So when you go from the sensory, like your eye, your ear, getting the signal from the environment, right, all the way to the high level abstraction that you have in your brain near the frontal cortex. I think that's when you see people, like when you see tear, frown face or something, all these like features, you could think of them as a machine learning features, or all these characteristics of, oh, the person is sad. When sad is, that's typically associated with something. So those things can be learned. And I guess the challenge is really for machine to understand what that truly means. I mean, I think it can learn that, okay, that's he's happy, he's mad, and he would know that when he's happy, I should respond in a certain way, or if he's sad, I should respond in a different way. But I don't think there's any meaning to the machine, of sadness or happiness. It's just like it's just something called sadness or something called happiness. To the machine, it's a one kind of emotion versus another kind versus another kind versus another kind. So it could be labeled as 1, 2, 3 emotion 1, 2, 3 emotional state 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. For that matter, the machine really doesn't know anything about what those emotional actually mean, what it actually feels like. It just know that this is that emotion and I should respond in that way when a person is in that emotional state. And so I think it's not hard for the machine to know that, but I think it's harder for it to truly understand what that means and what it felt. So I think that's a subtle difference.